Hello students, this is Amar Hatti, your tribology teacher, and welcome back to a new video lecture on your introduction to tribology. Well, in the last video lecture, we came to know what exactly the meaning of lubrication, why we need lubrication, and what are the different basic modes of lubrication. Well, we have four different types of lubrication basic modes. Okay, first one is hydrodynamic lubrication, second is hydrostatic lubrication, third is elasto hydrodynamic lubrication, and fourth one is solid film lubrication. Well, while studying all these basic modes of lubrication, we came to know how exactly bearing works or lubrication process works in all these different lubrication modes. Okay, and also we came to know what are the different lubricants and why we need them, and what are the functions of a right lubricant. And also we came to know, we studied what are the physical and chemical properties of the lubricants, like it must have good viscosity index, lubricity, specific gravity, specific heat, flash fire, and auto ignition points, acidity, alkalinity, and different points. So desirable properties of the lubricant must be, it should have an optimum viscosity, it should have a high viscosity index and a good oiliness property, high specific heat, high thermal conductivity, high flash point, fire point, and low pour point. Okay, so in all these matters, what exactly we need is, to select a right lubricant we must study its properties first, and also we had finally some of the different properties of the lubricant while selecting it. Okay, so in today's video lecture we are going to have the classification of the lubricants. Once you know what exactly the lubricant is and how it functions and what are the different properties of the lubricant, you came to know what lubricants must be selected for different operations or different processes. Okay, so now you will come to know the classification of the lubricants. Okay, so here lubricants are classified as three different types. Well, the initial one, the first one is lubricating oils, while liquid lubricants are the liquid lubricants taken the first place here. Well, the second ones are the greases. Okay, they are semi-solid lubricants, and finally the third one is solid type lubricants. Well, the name itself indicates it's a solid type lubricants. Initially liquid, then semi-solid, then solid types. Okay, well, in the first one, lubricating oils are further classified as four different types. Well, they are liquid lubricants. Well, initially comes the natural oils. Natural in the sense they may be vegetables or oils, or they may be animal oils. Well, the second one is mineral oils. Okay, third is mineral oils with some additives. If I add some additives into those minerals, I'm going to get a new lubricating oil which is going to show different properties, so I can use it somewhere where I cannot use natural oil or mineral oil. Okay, so that is the third one. And the fourth one in lubricating oils is synthetic oils. Well, let's see one by one before going to greases and solid type lubricants. Well, the first comes is the natural oils. As I said, vegetables oils and animal oils falls into this category. Well, these vegetable lubricants are based on simple soya bean, any corns, castor, canola oils, or cottonseed oils, because they are vegetable oils, and they are environmentally friendly, which are actually the alternative to mineral oils, because they are biodegradable. They can be biodegradably helpful us to for biodegradable. Okay, so lubrication properties of vegetable base oil are quite identical to those of mineral oils. We don't have much difference between vegetable oils and minerals oils. Okay, their lubricating properties are almost same, but the main disadvantage of vegetable lubricants are they have low oxidation and temperature instabilities. Okay, as temperature changes, they are unstable with their properties. Okay, animal, now going for animal oils or animal lubricants are produced from simple animal fats. Okay, you heard about animal fat. So by using animal fats, we are going to produce animal lubricants. There are two main animal fats. One is hard fats, and second one is soft fats. Well, the name in the hard fats, chemical name is stearin. Okay, we can call it as a stearin. Well, soft fat, lard oil is called as soft fats. So animal fats are mainly used for manufacturing greases. Okay, so if you want to manufacture some different types, the second type of the lubricating oil, that is greases, we use animal fats. Okay, and vegetables oils used as lubricants are simple castor oils, rapeseed oils. Then you heard about cottonseed oil, right? And palm oil, olive oil can be used as vegetable oils. And animal oils used as lubricant are simple lard oil, as I said, tallow oil, or shark or whale oil. Okay, so this is about a mineral natural oils. Well, second comes is your mineral oils. So mineral fluid lubricants are based on mineral oil. Simple. Mineral oils, in the sense, some petroleum oils are the refined byproduct of simple crude oil, and they contain higher hydrocarbons. Okay, hydrocarbons. And the main advantage of this one is mineral oils can be used up to a maximum temperature of 200 degrees Celsius, and they are chemically inert. They have a wide range of viscosities. Okay, they are good replacement and better than simple natural and simple vegetable and animal oils. Okay, they have little tendency to oxidize or form a corrosive acids. They have a little, okay, not much. They can form corrosive acids also. And minerals oils cannot be used above 200 degrees Celsius. If I And anyway, there are three different types of minerals oils, and they are paraffinic oils, naphthenic oils, aromatic oils. Well, you heard about aromatic oils, which have a smell, okay, different smell, that is called as aromatic oils. Well, if I want to have much better properties than the mineral oils, what I do, I'm just going to add some additives into minerals oils, so it can be improve its property. Okay, additive is a substance which is added to straight mineral oil to improve a particular property of that mineral oil, particular property or the whole property of the mineral oil. Let's say I wanted to increase the viscosity index of the mineral oil. I cannot use the same mineral oil into some other processes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a substance into that mineral oil, so it is improve that particular property. Okay, so the mineral oil in which the additives are added is called as base oil. Okay, so the additives, the mineral oil in which additives are added is called as base oil, and the additives must be soluble in base oil. Okay, and the additives are classified based on the property they intend to improve. If I want to improve a property of a mineral oil, I wanted to add an additive, okay, and they are classified based on this property. So some additives improve more than one property and are called as multifunctional additives. As I said, if I want to improve a particular property, I can use the additives, and I can use an additives which can improve more than one property, and that is called as multifunctional additive. Okay, so next comes is your synthetic oils. Synthetic lubricants are composed of oil components itself that have been manufactured synthetically by a reaction of a few well defined or predefined chemical compounds. Okay, so what I said, so these synthetic lubricants are composed of some oil components that have been manufactured synthetically. They are manufactured synthetically by a reaction of a few well defined chemical compounds rather than refined from the existing petroleum, crude or vegetable oils. Okay, so like this synthetic oils are manufactured or synthetic oils are produced. Well synthetic These are synthetic organics which include some chemicals like synthetic hydrocarbons, chlorofluorocarbons, fatty acids, esters, and some more also. Okay, and synthetic oils are used at extreme temperatures, pressures, and humidity. So if you are using vegetables oil, mineral oils, or mineral oils with additives, and there are some situations where we have extreme temperatures, extreme pressures, or extreme humidity, there I cannot use vegetables, minerals oils, or synthetic or mineral oils with additives. So there I can use synthetic oils. So they can be used at extreme temperature, pressure, and humidity, and they can be used maximum temperature of 400 degrees Celsius. Wow, 400 degrees Celsius temperature you can use synthetic oils, and they can perform at its best, right? So some of the synthetic oils are, as I said already, ester oils can be some synthetic oils, silicones, polyglycols, or polyalpholiphones. Okay, and chlorofluorocarbons also comes into synthetic oils. Well, the second type of main second type of lubricants are greases. Okay, so they are semi-solid lubricant. They are not completely liquid lubricants. They are not completely solid lubricants. They are semi-solid lubricants. Well, you have seen the lubricant greases, right? So these semi-solid lubricants or greases are produced by emulsifying oils or fats with metallic soap and water at nearly 400 to 600 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, so how they are produced? Emulsifying oils or fats. Emulsifying in the sense added, processed, then did some processes where I'm going to get a different oil or lubricant where it is going to perform its almost different properties. So these are produced by emulsifying oils or fats with metallic soap and water too at 400 to 600 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, just we are used oils and fats, and we added processed metallic soap and water into it at 400 to 600 degree Fahrenheit. So I am going to get greases. So grease is a substance which undergoes a change in apparent viscosity with shear stress. Okay, if I am going to apply shear stress, it is going to change its viscosity. So when the journal is stationary, like the bearing the shaft is stationary, the grease is quite rigid initially and immobile in the sense it cannot be movable. But when the journal start rotating, the viscosity of the grease reduces to that of the base oil in the grease. Okay, and these greases are manufactured by combining three essential components. As I said, the oils and fats used are called as base oil. Okay, base oil. Then thickeners. Well, if I want to make it thicken, if I want to make it semi-solid, I need to use some thickeners. Okay, and some additives. So combining these three essential components, base oil, thickener, and additives, I am going to get the greases. Okay, well, the base oil, let's come to let's see what exactly how base oil works, or what are the base oils. So base oil are the largest component of the grease simply, and they are representing 80 to 97 percentage by weight. If I have 100% of the grease, base oil is the base oil holds 80 to 97 percentage by its weight. And the base oil used here are mineral, they may be mineral oils, They may be synthetic oils or any fluid that provides lubricating property. Okay, it's not like you have to use only mineral oil, you have to use only some synthetic oil. Any fluid that provides some sort of lubricating properties, we can use it as a base oil. And it must be noted that the base oil portion of the grease performs the actual lubrication, except in very slow or some other applications. Okay, and the same rules apply to determine proper viscosity grade in a fluid lubricant, which is going to apply to the selection of the base oil portion of the lubricating grease. Okay, well, the second comes is thickeners. So these thickeners may be any material that in combination with the base oil will produce the solid to semi-solid structure. Well, we are producing a semi-solid structure or a semi-solid lubricant. The meaning of this one is the base oil is in the liquid form. Okay, so the thickeners what we are using is going to make that liquid form to semi-solid structure. So thickener may be any material. When it is combined with the base oil, it is going to produce solid or semi-solid, semi-fluid structure. Simply put, a grease thickener in combination with the base oil acts much the same way as a sponge. Okay, sponge which is holding water. If you have seen the sponge, right? Well, when you added the grease thickener with the base oil, it is going to act like a sponge which is holding water. So the principal thickeners used in greases include lithium, aluminium, calcium soaps, clay, or any polyurea. Okay, well, you may be in confusion how we are going to add aluminium, how we are going to add calcium. No, it is not the final form of the aluminium or calcium. Okay, we are added the processed form of the aluminium, calcium, soap, clay into the grease. Okay, either alone or in combination. It's not like we are just adding aluminium, we are just adding calcium soaps. We can add them in combination also. And lithium soap is the most common thickener which is using right now in today's generation. Okay, lithium soap. Well, the next comes is additives. Okay, additives. As in lubricating oil additives, grease additives and modifiers impart special properties, or it is going to modify the existing ones. Additives, grease additives and modifiers, which is going to impart some special properties, or it is going to modify, change the existing properties of the lubricating oil. Additives and modifiers commonly used in lubricating greases are oxidation or rust inhibitors. Okay, or polymers, extreme pressure additives, anti-wear agents, lubricity or friction reducing agents. Okay, you understanding? Additives and modifiers I said, and they are commonly used like lubricating greases are oxidation or rust inhibitors, polymers, extreme pressure additives, anti-wear agents, lubricity or friction reducing agents. Well, see, we have three different types of greases. Okay, well, the first one is calcium soap grease, sodium soap grease, and third one is lithium soap grease. As we said, they are what is that? They are classified based on the addition we have done into the mineral oil. Well, the calcium soap grease name itself indicates calcium soap grease consists of mineral oil as a base oil in calcium soap. Calcium soap is actually a additive. Okay, mineral oil here is a base oil and calcium soap here is a additive. Okay, or you can say it as a thickener also. Well, the second one is sodium soap grease. It consists mineral oil in sodium soap. Okay, base oil mineral oil and additives or thickener as sodium soap. Well, third one is lithium soap grease. Lithium soap grease consists of mineral oils in lithium soap. Simple. Well, let's go to the third one, that is solid lubricants. So solid lubricants possess the laminar structure which is going to prevent the direct contact between the sliding surfaces, and it may be at even high loads. Okay, even if we have the high loads, solid lubricants are going to prevent the direct contact between the sliding surfaces because they are some laminar structures. So what are the different solid lubricants? Graphite and molybdenum disulfide particles are commonly solid lubricants. Well, we have two different solid lubricants. One is graphite. Well, we are going to coat graphite on the surfaces. Then molybdenum disulfide particles are also used as a solid lubricant. Some other lubricants also we use, solid lubricants. They are boron nitride, tungsten disulfide, polytetrafluoroethylene PTFE are other solid lubricants. But commonly used are graphite and molybdenum disulfide. Here the solid lubricants are mainly used as a additives to oils and greases. Solid lubricants are also used in the form of dry powder or as constitution of a coating. Okay, as I said, we are going to coat graphite or molybdenum disulfide particle onto the surfaces, so it is going to prevent direct contact between the surfaces. So next comes is the criterions for selection of the lubricants, because selection of lubrication depends upon lubrication properties, system of application and service condition requirement, such as type of motion, speed, temperature, load and environment. Okay, because these are the conditions like motion, speed, temperature, load and environment are the service conditions which are required for selection of the lubricant. So in our engineering domain, lubricants are selected on the basis of tribology. Well, tribology in the sense study of friction, wear and lubrication. Okay, study of friction and wear, and along with that chemical compatibility also we have to consider with machine parts and environmental impact. Okay, because we haven't have much chemical compatibility of the lubricants with the machine parts and the environmental impact. Okay, so in our domain, lubricants are selected basis on tribology itself mainly. So the most important criteria for selection include the system on which lubricant is applied and different service conditions in the sense application based. So the major factors influencing the selection of lubricants are the speed, load and temperature, as I said. So higher the speed results in higher frictional heat. You know this one. If we have the higher speed, it is going to result high frictional heat. Hence, in such cases, in order to reduce the viscous resistance and frictional heat, low viscosity lubricants are preferred. If we are using high viscosity lubricants at high speed, it is going to have the high frictional heat, and also we have a friction between the lubricant and also the journal. Okay, in order to reduce the viscous resistance and frictional heat, low viscosity lubricants are preferred. Okay, so in any applications in the future, if you are having a bearing and shaft couple, if we have a high speed rotation of the shaft, just use low viscosity lubricants. Okay, so next comes is load. Well, we know if load is high, low viscosity lubricant may squeezed out, right? If we are using low viscosity lubricants, due to the load, what it is going to happen? It is going to squeeze out of the journal. Okay, so in such cases, high viscosity lubricants are used. Okay, then comes temperature. So at low temperatures, simple plain mineral oils or greases are preferred. At high or extreme temperatures, extremely low temperatures, mineral oils with additives, synthetic oils or solid lubricants can be used. Okay, So along with that, we have to consider the geometry also. Sometimes geometry restricts the choice of the lubricant. For example, many a times an unsealed rolling contact bearing may have to be grease lubricated, right? So just we have to, while selecting the lubricant, what we need to understand: higher the speed, low viscosity lubricant; higher the load, high viscosity lubricant; and different temperatures we have to use different lubricants. Okay, so next comes is your bearing material. Okay, bearing material, properties of the bearing material. So I think so, in this video lecture this is enough. In next video lecture we are going to cover what are the different properties of the bearing material, materials of the bearing, and what are the different materials of the bearing also. So till that, thank you very much.